everybody, and welcome to Movie Recaps with Brit. Today, we will be taking a look at a movie titled Mechanic: Resurrection. Without further ado, let's get started. In Rio de Janeiro, Arthur Bishop, a former hitman, lives secretly on a yacht, having faked his death and changed his identity. He enjoys peaceful mornings with coffee and music before jogging, with a hidden bomb on the boat for protection. One day, at a familiar seaside restaurant, a girl named Renee claims to have been searching for him for a long time. She details her work for a dangerous boss who wants Arthur to discreetly eliminate 3 enemies, making their deaths seem natural. Arthur's initial refusal leads Renee to threaten exposure of his location. Arthur notices she's not alone. Armed goons surround them. When Renee tries to photograph him, Arthur surprises her by taking her photo instead. Tensions rise, and she brandishes a gun, but Arthur uses a table to restrain her. When the goons attack, he effortlessly defeats them. Feeling outnumbered, he escapes by leaping onto a passing Skytram's roof. Renee and her men pursue Arthur on the tram, attempting to shoot him. Renee tries to climb up, but Arthur escapes by leaping onto a hand glider. When night falls, Arthur returns to his boat, finding suspicious men inspecting it. He activates strategically placed bombs, resulting in the yacht's explosion and their deaths. Arthur then takes weapons, tools, passports, and phones from an old container and moves to a secluded Thai island, staying in a hut belonging to his friend called Mai. Arthur discovers more hidden weapons under the wooden floor. To protect himself and investigate Renee, he starts a secret inquiry. He quickly shares Renee's photo, linking her to a dangerous criminal named Crane, whom Arthur has a dark history with. The next day, Gina arrives at Mai's beach resort, seeking first aid for her bruises. Despite Mai's inquiries, Gina remains silent and leaves. Later that night, Mai hears screams from a nearby boat and witnesses Frank mistreating Gina. Concerned, Mai turns to Arthur for help, though he's hesitant. Nevertheless, he checks the situation through binoculars and intervenes when Frank threatens violence. A physical altercation occurs, resulting in Frank accidentally hitting his head on a metal pole and dying on the spot. Upon spotting the lifeless body, Gina faints, and Mai helps her ashore while Arthur investigates the boat. To his surprise, he finds a gun, Gina's passport, and a phone with a picture of himself. Disturbed, Arthur sets the boat on fire and returns to the hut. He angrily wakes Gina, confronting her with the picture. Initially, she remains silent, but when Arthur aims the gun at her, she confesses she was blackmailed into working for Crane, who has something significant on her. Gina then reveals she used to run a shelter for human trafficking victims in Cambodia. Life was normal until Crane's henchman killed one of her staff members and threatened harm to the children in her care, forcing her into the mission. The next day, Arthur spots a boat nearby, with men watching the shore, making him suspect they're Crane's spies monitoring Gina's mission. To mislead them, Arthur and Gina act as a couple, engaging in Thai customs. As evening falls, Gina apologizes for involving him in her dangerous situation, and Arthur shares his tragic past as a child soldier, revealing his past friendship with Crane. Arthur fled, leaving his friend behind. This is possibly why Crane seeks revenge. Sharing their stories strengthens their bond, and as usual with Hollywood movies, they fornicate. Arthur reassures Gina's safety and outlines his plan to confront Crane, promising not to carry out the demanded assassinations. Instead, he intends to handle Crane personally. As a heartfelt gesture, he gives Gina his father's cherished watch and asks her to safeguard it during his absence. Unexpectedly, a group of policemen, one recognized as Crane's associate, descends on the beach. Arthur tries to resist but is overpowered, leading to Gina's abduction. To secure her release, he agrees to meet Crane, and they have their first encounter in years. Crane gives Arthur a daunting ultimatum: to free Gina, he must commit 3 murders in the guise of natural death. The first target is Krill, a notorious arms dealer in a high-security Malaysian prison. To prepare, Arthur obtains explosives disguised as chewing gum, shark repellent in a skin cream container, and a concealed capsule in a cigarette. He also creates a fake ID and assumes the identity of a wanted criminal. While wandering the streets of Malaysia, he's apprehended by the police and sent to a Malaysian prison. Inside, Arthur learns about Krill and realizes his henchmen constantly watch him due to threats. During lunch, he cunningly acquires a knife from a fellow inmate and intervenes when a former henchman tries to assassinate Krill, saving his life. Impressed, Krill invites him to dinner, leaving his men outside. Arthur seizes the chance, eliminates Krill, and makes it look like Krill's doing. To escape, he tells Krill's men not to disturb Krill during his prayer time, triggers the alarm, and uses explosive gum to create an opening in the prison wall. He ingests Crane's tracking pill and employs shark repellent before slipping into the water unnoticed. Escaping capture, he reunites with Crane's crew aboard a fishing boat in the middle of the ocean. Crane offers video proof of Gina's safety and assigns the next target, Adrian Cook, an Australian human trafficker, with a 36-hour deadline. Arthur swiftly conducts surveillance and discovers Cook's heavily fortified penthouse, which has a cantilever pool extending over the streets. To infiltrate, Arthur assumes the identity of a wealthy individual and arranges a meeting with the building's realtor. Next, Arthur feigns interest in an apartment below Cook's penthouse. While the realtor's distracted, he duplicates the keys. The next day, posing as a technician, Arthur uses the copied key to enter the apartment, then climbs a glass shield to reach the swimming pool. He places a special explosive beneath it. As Cook swims, he spots Arthur, but before he can call for help, the glass shatters, leading to his demise. Crane watches the news and appreciates Arthur's brilliance. Later, in a video call, Gina discreetly shares the boat's hull number by positioning herself near a window. Arthur then calls the boat company and traces its location using the number. Once he pinpoints the exact location, he hires a helicopter and transports equipment. In the subsequent scene, Arthur sneaks onto the boat, eliminating guards individually. Yet, he gets captured while rescuing Gina. Crane appears, warning him never to try it again, or Gina will be shot instantly. Now, Arthur's final target is Max Adams, a well-guarded American arms dealer in a fortress. After some investigation, Arthur uncovers Crane's ulterior motive, eliminating rivals in the arms trade. He shoots one of Adams' guards from afar, then boards an emergency helicopter to reach the fortress. Once inside, he uses a hammer to disable security cameras and skillfully dispatches the guards. As the building heightens security, Adams is being led to his panic room. Surprisingly, when Adams reaches his room, Arthur is already inside. Somehow, Arthur convinces Adams to cooperate, and they begin by faking Adams' death. Later, while inspecting his submarines, a meticulously planned bomb detonates, causing Adams to be submerged. Fortunately, Arthur is prepared underwater and swiftly rescues Adams. They share an oxygen tank and safely reach the nearest beach. Meanwhile, Crane witnesses the incident on TV, and news reports claim Adams is submerged due to the explosion. In the aftermath, Arthur contacts Crane, admitting responsibility for the third kill. Crane remains skeptical until he sees concrete evidence of Adams' death and insists on seeing the body. Arthur urges Crane to visit Adams' submarine to find his lifeless body there. Eager to confirm the kill, Crane orders his men to find Adams' body and deal with Arthur. Before they reach the location, Arthur sets deadly traps, hence Crane's henchmen either fall into the traps, or face Arthur's stealthy attacks, making Crane realize Arthur's threat. Realizing he's the next target, Crane uses Gina as bait, placing her outside to lure Arthur. As Arthur approaches underwater, he spots Gina near the helipad and launches a ruthless attack on Crane's guards. Gina tries to help but gets injured. Arthur secures her in an emergency release pod for her safety. He dispatches Crane's henchmen, leading to a brutal showdown. Crane, realizing his defeat, triggers a boat bomb. A tense battle unfolds, with Arthur prevailing and tying Crane to the boat using an anchor chain. The boat explodes, seemingly killing both men. Gina, from a distance, witnesses this with despair, thinking Arthur sacrificed himself. Heartbroken, she returns to Cambodia to see the kids, and try to have comfort in her work. Months pass, and Gina heals. Then, one morning, Arthur unexpectedly reappears, completely unharmed, surprising Gina. While Adams examines the remnants of Crane's boat, he discovers Arthur's clever escape plan. He uncovers video proof of a diving bell with trapped air that saved Arthur. Impressed, Adams deletes the security footage to protect Arthur's future. The movie concludes with Arthur's survival as a well-kept secret. Gina and Arthur break free from Crane's control, starting a new hopeful chapter in their lives. Thank you for watching our movie recap. While it may seem simple, it actually took a lot of hard work and dedication to produce. If you enjoyed the video, we kindly ask you to show your support by liking and subscribing to our channel. By doing so, you'll stay updated on our latest content and help us continue creating more in-depth analyses and critiques of the movies you love. Thank you again for your support.